right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Dr. Stone, Season 1, Episode 7.
Okay.
All right,
Contact has been made.
We've met ourselves a new character.
Yep.
Both Tsukasa, though, and Senku have met her.
Yes.
This is something, though, that is a bit of a problem. We have a situation where not only is she someone that was born in this world without any knowledge of the past.
Yep.
The people that bore her probably
also didn't have any knowledge of the past. Yeah.
So we've got ourselves potentially a lineage of sorts that needs to be explored.
But it seems they have access to metal, and Senku's going to go visit them, which is kind of a big deal. Because they will be probably absolutely floored by Senku's knowledge of the sciences and whatnot.
Right.
And if they have access to metal, and Senku has the ability to make gunpowder, or at least he has some gunpowder left, we got guns, people. We got guns.
Well, yeah, things are going to accelerate a lot faster, especially because if they have metal, that means that they've been around here doing things
for a while.
Yeah. Like, not a short while.
Yep.
These are the kinds of things that, without access necessarily to the things that would tell them that this was even something that they should kind of lean towards.
Right.
Even if they found artifacts, essentially, from 3,700 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, how much of it would actually be, would not have deteriorated at this point.
Right.
So we've got some interesting stuff to explore there. We also have now set up Taiju and Yuzuriha as being spies in Tsukasa's upcoming civilization.
Yep.
But Senku will do the same thing and create his own civilization.
Yeah.
But that means the Nakama power must be distributed evenly. Or not really evenly. Senku's going to have to make some Nakama.
Yeah, but he already has one person that is rather fond of him, shall we say.
Well, yeah, that aspect of fondness, I think, is rather nice, because we don't get into necessarily any kind of love triangle drama at this point.
That's true.
Which is nice. But also, it's not necessarily like romantic love at this point. It's the liking of, hey, you have a determination with your ability to solve problems that I do not see that often, or maybe at all. So you're interesting.
Although I will say, depending on how much the lack of memory or anything like that of what humanity used to be, then that means that in this situation, if you found someone with those kinds of capabilities, evolution would dictate that you make the babies because they will have the most likely chance of surviving in this harsh world. But, they might not get into that. Who knows?
Yeah, that's actually going to be the part that I'm interested to where they bring it up. They're totally going to bring it up. It's just going to be done in a comedic way.
Right.
Is the... if we're not going to, depetrify everyone, which they probably are going to try to depetrify everyone eventually. But that's going to take a while.
Yeah.
And there are certain numbers you need to reach in order for a sustainable civilization over the course of a long period of time. Without using petrification, reanimation stuff. Yeah, we gotta get it going on. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, and then come back here for the discussion. All right, we got ourselves a village.
Yep, we do indeed. And a village that's doing really well, all things considered. Like Chrome, even though, a lot of the stuff that he did were like fun little jokes, he actually has done surprisingly well, especially given his age, in collecting all of that stuff. Like, way to go.
Just experimenting via curiosity.
Yep.
He is not necessarily super smart. He is just a good, earnest kid that wants to explore and discover. And has the heart of a scientist.
Right. And one of the things that I think is really cool about this is that in a lot of ways, you could say that maybe there were tons of people like this as humanity was developing technology and all that stuff. But because of humanity being so disconnected, and because there was no one to be able to look at it and piece together exactly what it means, then it probably would have died with the person, right? No one,
Well, until things were written down, everything was oral tradition.
Right.
And writing wasn't even the thing until, I don't know, 6,000 years ago.
Exactly. And even if there was something like that,
Even
it would have been something where Chrome would have had to convince a future generation to basically continue his work.
Well, that would be relatively easy if he was a person that would naturally be a part of has a lineage kind of aspect of things. Now, they almost kind of poked fun at that here by showcasing that he was kind of an outsider of the village.
Yes.
I think he wouldn't have necessarily procreated. Right. Now, he might have naturally, but he might not have been a part of his stuff that he would have done wouldn't have been essential to the community, so it would have led to it dying out eventually.
Yep, and that's something where it's a way to explain why there is someone like this in this world, but then two, why it wouldn't have gone anywhere without Senku showing up. Right. So that way it doesn't feel like the whole thing of a 17th century device, right? Right. That's pretty impressive. He wouldn't have known it was a 17th century device though, and then it probably would have stopped there.
Well, he also wouldn't have known why it's doing this.
Exactly.
This is probably the thing that's really interesting about human beings whenever we kind of poke around with things. Is we very much understand causal relationships, meaning I do this, then this thing happens. Yeah. But whenever we get to translating / interpreting why, how, we know the very bare minimum kind of how stuff of I touch fire and pain. I don't know what pain is. But I don't know why my body sent the pain signals to me. I don't even know that they're signals. For all I know is that the fire is angry at me because I touched it.
It's some spirit or whatever that did some evil sorcery on me. Yeah.
Right. And the funny thing is that we as humans fill in the blank way too quickly sometimes. Sure. Whereas we don't want to just keep asking questions.
Oh, yeah. Like what was it? One of the beliefs that actually lasted quite a while was the idea that the sky and everything was actually some sort of substance that was like a lake or something that the heavens basically were floating in,
some sort rain of would ether. Support that idea because that was the sky spilling over.
Exactly. Yeah. Because otherwise, how the concept of that there would be nothing? Well, how does that work?
But I love how they showed also the other aspect of this, which is I don't understand it, therefore I'm going to use my secret technique. Leave it to somebody else, which is sometimes you don't want to ask questions about it. It's scary and different, so run away.
And that is how the human race took so long to get to where it got. Yeah.
Also why we survived probably in a lot of ways is that as certain safe kind of advances were made, we also ran away really well from things that weren't necessarily easily understood.
Like Chrome said, he's like, oh, these things, these medicinal things or whatever, I don't know. I just tried them on myself to see what would happen. It's very possible that, you
could have just died.
You could have just died. There's a reason that is not the default setting, maybe, or at least if it is, it gets stopped pretty quickly
because you see someone else do it,
and then they keel over dead, and you're like,
they die because
oh god, maybe I shouldn't do that.
Or at the very least, thankfully, our bodies are quite ridiculously cool to where you take a little,
you vomit your guts out or something.
Yeah, it just puts you to sleep, and you get kind of tired and lethargic for a little bit because your body's trying to ward off literal poison in you right now.
Yeah,
but also, given that these people have developed a village. They have a working kind of tradition of means of survival. They have even a way to ward off large predators by being on a little island where if the bridge needs to get cut, they just cut the bridge.
Yeah, and they probably have a spare or something, or I don't know.
Well, no, they just eventually reattach it when the animals, leave or what have you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, cut the bridge part and leave some ropes that go across or something.
Right, Yeah, exactly. But we also have Senku arriving here, and he's like, all right, awesome. I have my resources that I can use here. I
will rule I will rule this village like gods. Angry gods.
Genius gods.
Yeah.
The idea that Senku just has soap and creates little soap bubbles as a way to make them panic is brilliant, because it's a thing where, Yeah, that's pretty spectacular.
Well,
They float, they defy gravity. There's certain like inborn maybe like kind of laws that they probably already assume to be a thing. Thing go up, thing must come down.
Why is it not going down? Yeah.
Why is this thing not going down?
Is it like a bird? Yeah.
Yeah.
But the most impressive thing for me that Senku is able to do is blow bubbles out of a hole in his hands. Like, because I've tried
really hard.
I tried that as a kid. I couldn't do it. I tried really hard.
Now, I'll just tell you, it is actually very easy to do if you have a ridiculous amount of soap. If you have a ridiculous amount of thick soap, it is not actually that hard.
Oh, okay.
The thing that's hard is to get them that big. You can get tons of them, and they're all about this big.
Right.
And I've done that. And it was a thing where I should have done this, actually, but I was doing actually like this. Because it kept more of the suds around here. And then, therefore, when the bubble was coming out, a lot of them would hit my own hand and just break immediately. But also, I think what happened was because I was doing this outside, the wind didn't immediately hit it and disturb it or whatever.
But like that oh man, kid me would have been so impressed by that. Just not even if even knowing what bubbles are, just to be able to do that with 2 fingers. That would have been awesome. Yeah. But here we are.
Here we are. We now see the dynamic where what's her name? Kohaku fits into this village.
Yes.
She is one of the essentially the hunters in this hunter-gatherer kind of society.
Yep.
And we have her going out and gathering the water, which they would then use to put her sister in for its healing properties, which means I think it's a very simple probably infection or virus or what have you that she's dealing with, where it's just like the common cold or something like that. So heating her up might actually be like enough to stave off the effects.
Right. And something where the biggest issue that they have to like the fact that they're keeping Senku out of the village is what's now allowing this to continue because
well they don't know what Senku can do.
And Senku doesn't even necessarily know what he can do, although he did say that he has a way to solve it with science.
But he didn't tell them that.
He told Chrome that.
Yeah, he didn't tell the guards though that.
Oh, sure, but I mean, I don't think they would have listened anyways.
Well, right, and they don't believe Chrome anyway.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's you're gonna try and help her like you helped that other thing where the thing caught on fire. Like I imagine the reason why he's outside is for very legitimate reasons.
Yeah,
like he has probably caused untold randomness, of chaotic damage or what have you.
Well, and it's also the idea that since he doesn't understand the why of a lot of things, he doesn't know how to apply it, which means that they probably see the stuff that he does as useless, right? He's not getting food or anything like that. It's just rocks. Why are you so excited about your rocks?
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense. They have a priestess, which means they have some kind of faith, religion, superstitions or what have you. It probably is a very big deal to them, though, that their priestess is sick.
Yeah.
Because that means that their holy special person is dying.
You know what it could be?
What?
It's just that she's the one who is the storyteller, the one that passes the word of mouth tales of from the first generation people that were unpetrified.
She carries the spirits of the dead inside her.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kind of
thing. And that could totally be what it is. And then over the course of a few hundred years, that becomes a spiritual thing, right?
Right.
It's not just here's a story, whatever. It's yes, this is the person who's connected to the souls of our ancestors.
Well, also worshiping your ancestors, especially if one of them was the first generation person that went and revived a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
I would worship that person too if that was all I knew.
There had to be at least 2 revivals,
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I think that there was a lot more than 2. I think that this was someone like Senku. Senku's prediction is probably pretty accurate here. It was someone that revived a lot of people, a long time ago, like a really long time ago, hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
And then they've slowly but surely created a society around that.
Right.
But the means and the method by which they made the stuff slowly, declined over the course of time.
And I mean, they could have like a little smelting oven in here or something, you know, like they.
That's true.
Like because they weren't surprised by the fire. They were surprised by the fact that the fire changed the colors, right? So they at least have that, right? So they can and with that you can do a lot.
You can do quite a lot, yeah. They would need it just for winter, though. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
If you don't have fire in winter, like you're going to lose like 20% of your population every winter.
Yeah, unless you can find a lot of tauntauns to climb inside or something. But
well, I mean, you need the fire to prep the animal hides to provide clothing so that you don't just freeze to death. I mean, their shelters are not that great. Like they're good enough to cover themselves from the elements, like the wind and the rain.
Maybe if enough of them bunched up inside, if it wasn't like a super bad winter, you know, kind of like, I mean, they probably are way less insulated than an igloo, but that kind of igloo thing where you just, if you stay inside, your body heat will keep the place warm enough.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. Okay, so yeah, that's true. We have ourselves our quest, essentially.
Yep.
We have told Chrome, okay, all the history that's relevant for him to be able to be up to speed here.
Right.
The spoken word aspect of passing down the knowledge was just shown here and how useful it is, actually.
Oh, wow.
So in that case, we now have our first member of the nation. I like that it is Chrome rather than it actually being Kohaku, because Kohaku is kind of the simple one who is not actually interested in the science side of things, but is thinking about, you know, survival of their village and what have you.
Yep. If the priestess is basically just keeping the oral tradition of the past generations alive, then Senku could be the equivalent of almost like a prophet coming and being like, yes, I have awoken and, you know, blah, blah, blah. I can tell you many more things, which could either be very good or very bad.
Yeah, I see it actually as being ridiculously good, because what's going to happen is they're going to have to test him and be like, what is your validity and why we should let you even go near Ruri?
Yes, indeed.
And then he's going to be like, I am clearly worthy. Here are my offerings towards this priestess.
I turned that guy's, you know, spearhead to gold. I, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, there's all kinds of things that he'll be able to do.
And they'll send someone out here eventually because they're just going to hear about Senku doing some basic things as he asks maybe, you know, Chrome, have you, can you go and ask Ruri like these 5 questions so I can get a diagnosis as to what's going on with her?
Well, and then
he makes the probiotic out there and has to find a way to sneak it into her bath or what have you. Or
and the fact that they're doing the antibiotic, that will help a lot with just the rest of the village, but it could also potentially help with Ruri. But also, when Kinro goes back into the village, they're going to be like, whoa, holy crap, what's that? What happened to your spear? Oh, there's a new sorcerer. Wait, what? Where is he? Yeah, he's out there. Wait, okay, hold on. Maybe there should be an exception to the rule, because that looks really cool, and I'd like to have one like that, you know? Like, even if he isn't able to be bought quite just yet, that doesn't necessarily mean that the rest of the people in the village wouldn't be able to be.
Right, there's like 34 other people in the village, or what have you, or 36 or what have you.
All it takes is one.
That's true. But, we have ourselves also some really funny moments with them using their science basically to kind of have a little bit of a showdown. And they literally did the shonen thing of, I don't want to do damage here. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's right. But it's really just, my materials are all over there. So, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So I need to go grab them before we can actually fight.
Yep. Which is great. I loved the static electricity thing. Just like, well, and just the whole thing of like, bzzt, and they're like,
I want the attack.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I could see myself believing someone was a sorcerer when they built up intentionally static electricity to
people used to get burnt at the stake for witchcraft just because they had magnets. Like,
yeah, we're a pretty ignorant species when it comes to things that we don't understand.
Oh yeah,
wait, that's an oxymoron. But
we don't like what we don't understand. In fact, it scares us. Yeah. And this monster is mysterious, at least.
So mysterious. I almost said suspicious. Yeah. So mysterious, at least.
But, oh boy.
All right. So that's the episode. We're going to figure out how to make an antibiotic.
And distribute it in an effective way, because I don't think Senku has little plastic capsules that dissolve.
Well, if anything, I think that's the point, is that it's going to be some kind of powder. Probably. It's going to be some kind of combination of, you know, ground up rocks, basically.
All right, now everyone, huff this. Wait. No, Senku, that's cocaine.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So we'll see you in the next episode's reaction. If you want to see that next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general. You can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yep, that's right. Taking a different direction with the science. I wrote a sci-fi novel called Battle Lines. It's really cool, and it's on Amazon if you want to get it. Link in the description below. It's in both hardback and ebook, but only hardback for the US. Outside of the US, it's kind of hard to ship them, so just the ebook, but it's still really cool, so definitely check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.